Filmography is what PatrolClip is all about. We love a good thrill ride, a great chill, a few laughs, and so on. But today, we're going to focus on something a little different. When you think of animation, is the first thing that comes to mind kiddie cartoons that you'd leave on the TV all day while your child runs around the house destroying everything? That's why today, we're going to focus on 10 graphic films and series that were made for adults that you might have missed out on, and that you need to see when you put the kids to bed tonight. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and ring that little notification bell so that you can keep up with all our videos. Number 10. Heavy Metal. Our first entry on the list is a film that is regarded as one of the best R-rated animated films of all time. Heavy Metal is a 1981 Canadian-American adult animated sci-fi fantasy film directed by Gerald Potterton, and it's an anthology of various science fiction and fantasy stories adapted from the Heavy Metal magazine and original stories in the same spirit. Like the magazine, the film features a great deal of graphic violence, sexuality, and nudity. Despite the mixed reviews by film critics on its initial release, the film was a modest success at the box office and has since achieved a cult status around it. The film uses the rotoscoping technique of animation in several shots. The process consists of shooting models and actors and then tracing the shot onto film for animation purposes. Film historian and critic Leonard Maltin gave the film 3 stars out of 4 in his movie guide, calling the feature uneven but great fun on a mindless adolescent level. We agree with him there. The film is very entertaining. Each of the film's storylines are tied well together, and for fans of sci-fi, this is one you should not miss out on. Oh, and for the fans of the sequel out there, Heavy Metal 2000, don't worry, we don't think it's that bad either. Number 9. Constantine, City of Demons. Tangentially tied to the live-action series Constantine through actor Matt Ryan, the series is set in the DC animated movie universe, a spin-off of the 2017 animated film Justice League Dark. Of course, it's based on the DC Comics character John Constantine, a demon hunter and occult detective who was played by Keanu Reeves in the 2005 film adaptation. Now, Reeves did a fantastic job, and the film has gained a cult following since then, but Constantine City of Demons is also very good in its own way. In our opinion, it's one of the best DC animated movies to have come out in recent memory, and the casting of Matt Ryan is absolutely perfect for the role of John Constantine. From start to finish, it's just plain awesome. Number 8. Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, if I had told you that the Dark Knight himself would be crossing over with the TMNT a few years ago, you probably wouldn't have believed me. Well, guess what? In 2019, a direct-to-video crossover between the two was released, and it's actually pretty damn good. Directed by Jake Castorina, the story focuses on Batman, Robin, and Batgirl teaming up with the Ninja Turtles in order to save Gotham City from chaos at the hands of the combined effort of Shredder and Ra's al Ghul with their sects, the Foot Clan and League of Assassins. It's really cool how Warner Brothers and Nickelodeon were able to make a TMNT and DC Comics collaboration, giving us an almost R-rated style action while maintaining an E for everyone rating, so to speak. The animation is not as goofy as one would think, and it's a perfect type of cartoonish mix that the crossover needs. Plus, it's frickin' Batman and Ninja Turtles. And if that isn't cool enough already, we don't know what to say to you. Cowabunga, Gotham! Number 7. Spawn. Todd McFarlane's Spawn, also known as Spawn the Animated Series, is an American noir adult animated television series which aired on HBO from 1997 through 1999. The story is about ex-Marine Lieutenant Colonel Al Simmons returning from the grave, lost and bewildered at how his wife Wanda is now married to his best friend Terry Fitzgerald. Tormented by the thought that he cannot be with his wife, Spawn is annoyed by the Violators' efforts to drive him into violence and evil in the name of hell. It's a well-done, awesome depiction of good overcoming the utmost evil. Even with Spawn becoming basically an imprint of Hell's power, he uses it to take out bad guys, and also navigates his life of trying to accept the loss of his wife and what he has truly become. With Spawn voice acted by the amazing Keith David, music and atmosphere that's purely genius at work, plus Todd McFarlane's art style, it's all just incredible, and we are glad he spawned this series. Number 6. Punisher and Black Widow, Confidential. Now, you may not have heard of this one, but don't worry, it is quite the underrated gem. The story is about Black Widow and Punisher teaming up to prevent terrorists from selling stolen shield technology. The story sounds simple, and well, it is, but it's the eye candy that counts here. The animation looks amazing at times, the voice actors do a great job, the storyline is pretty decent, and all in all, it's just a fun movie to pass the time. Check this one out if you want to see a fun animated Marvel movie that kicks you right square in the nuts. Now, we've given you quite a few shows and movies to watch, but since 2020 has been such a grueling year, we might as well give you a few more. Number 5. The Animatrix. For those of you that have been following our channel, you're well aware that we love to talk about The Matrix. The franchise has had its highs and lows, and with Matrix 4 coming soon, we thought it'd be important to mention the Animatrix. Directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, the man behind groundbreaking animes Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, The Animatrix is an anthology of short films that detail the backstory of the Matrix universe and focuses on the original war between man and machines which led to its creation. It serves as a great deep dive into the events that preceded the main Matrix films. Plus, the animation is stellar, and the shorts themselves are mostly very well done. If you're a fan of The Matrix like we are and are waiting for the fourth movie to come out, this right here is a great way to pass the time. Number 4. Castlevania. We all know and love the classic Nintendo and Super Nintendo Castlevania titles, but we had no idea that we'd love the Castlevania animated series even more. The story follows vampire hunter Trevor Belmont, who fights to save a besieged city from an army of otherworldly creatures controlled by Lord Dracula. Luckily, Belmont, the last survivor of his clan, which is a disgraced family known for hunting all kinds of monsters, is still in town and agrees to take the fight to the Lord of the Vampires. Besides taking place within the Castlevania universe, it's gripping, funny, beautifully animated, superbly voiced, and the pacing of the storyline is perfect. The extremely likable characters grow and develop naturally. Nothing feels rushed, and there's no wasted scenes. There's a true balance to this fantastical tale as it unfolds. Check this one out if you're a fan of the games, and if you've never played them, this show might just make you want to pick up a controller and give it a whirl. Number 3. Turok, Son of Stone. Turok, Son of Stone is a 2008 American animated science fiction film featuring the Western publishing character of the same name, and the story revolves around Turok, a Native American warrior who avenges the slaughter of his family while fighting dinosaurs. Now that already sounds pretty awesome, but for those unfamiliar with the Turok franchise, Turok was a comic book series created in the mid-50s that in the 90s got a major revamp when it became one of the best-selling video games of all time. Now, who would have thought that they'd make a movie out of it? The fight scenes are awesome. When the action starts, the level of animation jumps to new heights. Utilizing some of the smoothest slow-motion seen in animation, some of the fight scenes seem visibly influenced by films like 300, and they just look amazing. It's also voice acted by the brilliant Adam Beach. It's definitely violent and not meant for children, which is why we put it at our number 3 pick. If you're a fan of dinosaurs and want to see some bone-crushing action, give this one a watch. Number 2. Hellboy, Sword of Storms and Blood and Iron. For fans of Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy films, these movies are just for you. Co-produced by Del Toro, the first movie follows Hellboy and his fellow agents as they investigate a possessed professor in Japan who sends several dangerous creatures to retrieve a powerful sword. Voiceover work from the returning cast members Ron Perlman, Selma Blair, and Doug Jones was well reviewed, as well as the animation style and overall awesomeness that the movie has to offer, which is sort of a mix between Kim Possible and the Spectacular Spider-Man with a hellish aesthetic that is so good to look at. Hellboy Blood and Iron was also well received. This story follows Hellboy and his agents when they're called upon by Professor Trevor Brutenholm to investigate a Long Island haunting and the possibility of a resurrected vampire. Both movies are very entertaining stories, and if you're looking for more Hellboy after the mediocre reboot from last year, then you'll find that these two movies are just perfect. Last but not least, number 1. Love, Death, and Robots. What might surprise you is that this Netflix series is actually a reimagining of David Fincher and Frank Miller's long-in-development reboot of none other than the 1981 animated science fiction film Heavy Metal. Yep, we have the original at number 10, but this incredible reboot at number 1. The story is as follows. Long after the fall of humanity, 3 robots, KVRC, XBot 4000, and the Triangular Bot, wander through post-apocalyptic cities trying to understand how humans live based on their limited knowledge of them and the things they left behind. The cast includes names such as Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Gary Cole, Chris Parnell, and John DiMaggio, and they all give great performances. Most people say that this show is a mix of Black Mirror and the original 1981 film, and we couldn't agree more. They all have interesting twists, and the series has 18 episodes with varying screen times as short as 6 minutes to as long as 17 minutes, either in CGI, 2D animation, live action, or a combination of all three. The episodes themselves can be very graphic, sexually, violently, or both, and they are really, really awesome. Netflix really gave the directors a free hand on what story they want to tell and how they want to tell it, and the reward they got is a show of incredible creativity. One of Netflix's must-see series, especially for sci-fi and fantasy fans. So, those are our top 10 best picks for graphic shows that weren't made for people of the faint of heart. Are we missing any? Would you change our ranking in any way? Let us know down in the comments below, and be sure to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell for all things PatrolClip. And until next time.